And hello, everybody. I forgot to change the layout, so I'll be doing that shortly. But we are back. Today is January 27th, 2020, and you are loved. We appreciate every single one of you. Things to cover before we get started. Hey, you are loved.
Steven, you're still hosting Open for Adventure.
How is that even possible? They should just refresh the page. If we're live, and we are.
Yep.
Aha! So,
Going on?
January 27th, 2020, you are loved. That's an important thing. We say it at the beginning of each and every single one of our sessions that we play here on twitch.tv/indooradventures that you can find at youtube.com under the same moniker or anywhere where podcasts are available for free. We also have other ways of supporting the channel. So if you go to indooradventure.redbubble.com, you can pick up some sweet merch. We got stickers, we got posters, we got mugs, we got shower curtains, we got so many things. So consider going and checking that out. Other than that, we also have our Patreon. So if you go to patreon.com/indooradventures, you can also gain access to our after show called Nights in the Courtyard, where we answer questions not only from the community, but also from each other. That will also get you into our Discord. And of course, once you are in that Discord, you can freely communicate with all of these fine people. Of course, you don't have to be a supporter on the Patreon to join the Discord. We have descriptions for that in the link, with links down below in this video, or regularly posted to the side in this here Twitch chat. Other than that, we also have a giveaway going on, so I have posted a link in the side chat, but it was to celebrate us hitting 420 followers. Bwomp, 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 bwomp. And it's a little far away now, but I'll do my best to grab it. Things that are available for prizing. Surprise! It's the Descent to Avernus book, as well as the collector's edition dice that came out. And did you know there's going to be a second winner? And that second winner will receive the Tyranny of Dragons collector's edition book. It's got
Queen.
all of the wonderful heads of our dear Queen and Savior Tiamat. It's a good time, and you could be the winner. So consider entering. It's super simple. You either follow us on Twitter, Twitch, you can just look at our YouTube. It's a good time. Other than that, I believe that is it for my spiel. Yes, LB.
I'm refreshed a couple times, and people in chat are still having issues with you hosting.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
I will see if I'm hosting them or not, but I don't believe that I am. I will check on this while you guys do your intros. Hey, RJ, who you playing tonight?
Hey everybody, I'm RJ and I'm playing Caelum, the Shatterkai Wizard Cleric, and we're good on that end.
Yeah. Hi, I'm LBHackEmUp, and I'm playing a very stoned Gwen tonight.
Hi! I'm Cyber. I'm playing, hopefully, a slightly less angry Arjhan, the Dragonborn, or Draconian Bloodhunter Cleric.
And I'm Wings, also known as Danae Keener. I'm going to be playing as Coriander, the Eladrin Paladin.
And I am the Indoor Adventurer, and I shall be your Dungeon Master. And I've checked, and it shows on Twitch's end that I am not hosting Open for Adventure, although they are a lovely cast of people, and I would recommend going to check them out after this show, of course. But with that being said, let's do a brief recap of what happened last time. So, halfway between the Drow city of Tev Elyon and Surt's Hellier, there was a fire giant stronghold that a lot of you have been told to go and investigate. Having arrived at this stronghold, Gwen, you used your magical throwing hammer to cause an explosion, preventing the Bloodhunter Kodeth's entry into the stronghold with his retinue of drow explorers. Boo Kodeth! He was a bad, nasty man from Arjhan's past. This explosion, however, alerted a dire troll to your presence, and you found yourself fighting tooth and claw against an ancient denizen of the stronghold. Arjhan and Cori continued deeper into the cavern after this creature was successfully defeated, while Caelum and Gwen decided to stay back to get a little bit of rest. It was then that Cori's new armor proved to be a detriment, allowing the beholder, Exarzablik, to detect your presence and then captured a rather charmed Cori. After this event, or rather while it was happening, Arjhan, you ended up meeting up with a new companion, a drow priest by the name of Ristel, who was seeking a holy relic for his religious order, who followed Ganador, the Elder Eye, the drow god of oozes. With his help, you are all able to defeat the beholder and made that had made its home in the fire giant foundry, but not before Gwen was turned to stone by one of the monster's eye beams. So we are going to pick up. Ristel has rushed into the foundry as Arjhan, you had told him to go. And he is off currently searching for his ooze container while the lot of you end up regrouping and get Gwen safely down from this hole that had been made up in the corner of the foundry. After you had reconvened and kind of got all of your things together, that was when Ristel had come back out, having found what he was looking for, and then proceeded to drink a bottle of who knows what in front of you, allowing him to turn into a puddle of ooze, where he then skirted away again after Arjhan barked at him to just go. And that is where we are going to pick up. Gwen, you are currently a stone statue. Arjhan, you, Cori, and Caelum, and also Cybra, who had kind of managed to, or no, you guys had left Cybra in an abandoned house. But the lot of you are around Gwen's currently petrified form. So let's start up there while I get this layout affixed.
Caelum is waving a hand over Gwen's face. Oh, that's not good. That's not good. That's not good. That's not good.
No, it's not. And do you know how we would fix it?
Well, would I know how this would be fixed?
Make either an Arcana check. Actually, yeah, just an Arcana check.
22.
With a 22, you know that effects that would turn one to stone are usually cured by some kind of high-level clerical magic, usually akin to a greater restoration.
We might need someone with a little bit more clerical experience to cast a spell on her.
It's going to take 5 days to get them down here.
Or 5 days back.
I'm worried about carrying her out of here.
Right. I could send a message to the guild leader.
I'm going to try lifting her.
Okay, make an athletics check. Because you are lifting
12.
her with one hand.
I am lifting her with one hand. 12.
So you manage to flex up, and you are holding Gwen aloft, but it is taking a lot of strength from your arm to actually hold her up. It seems like a halfling made of solid stone is still made entirely of solid stone. And Gwen, you look poised and ready to strike at something that you were holding up until 5 minutes ago.
I mean, I could... Caelum goes into his pack and pulls out some silk rope. And then he begins to, like, shibari tie Gwen into, like, this backpack configuration.
Oh dear.
The only problem now is, like, tight spaces, because you don't want to knock an arm off.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Indoor.
Yes,
There are other statues in this place.
there are.
Do we get the sense that they're also petrified?
Looking at them, these do not seem like they suffered the same fate that Gwen did.
Okay.
Whereas with Gwen, you can see all of her forms and features still there. It just looks like it is a very expertly made statue. These just have a kind of smooth end on one side that leads more towards a jagged face on the other.
Yeah. I guess this wouldn't be a problem they're obligated to solve.
I kind of want to check out that arch, though.
Go ahead.
Where did the beholder body land?
The beholder
It didn't.
body landed up in the tunnel where, Cori, you had actually kind of fallen into the lava. Not kind of, you had fallen into the lava during that time. But when the beholder had hit against the ground several times, as it had finished dying, you watched as, or Arjhan, you had watched as its body sort of folded in on itself, removing itself from the natural plane.
Should we make camp for the time being? I
Yeah.
don't think we're up to snuff for traveling.
Yeah.
Sorry, Wings, you cut out.
Oh, sorry. Yes. I'm afraid I'm rather tired, yes.
We can just go into the foyer of the forge for the time being. At least they won't be able to see a fire.
Yeah, go ahead and set that up. Indoor.
Yes.
Are there any other resources that need to be secured?
So, there is the foundry proper. Are you going to be exploring around, or are you more just like kind of thinking about areas that exist within this place?
I'll take a walk around.
Okay.
Again.
Helps clear your head just a little bit. All right, so Arjhan is going on a walk, and you have to recover Cybra anyways. So you go and get Cybra, and as you are going down the road, you continue to look at these houses, and at the end of one of the large roads, you can see what appears to be a column. And this column is roughly 20 feet wide, and just jutting through the side of the wall, and it has a metallic sheen to it. And as you get close, you realize that this is a mother lode. This is Titan steel emerging from the mountain itself, and this expanse of metal looks like it would be enough to afford an entire kingdom. Like this giant, this column, this vein of ore that looks like it was in the process of being hollowed out to actually be worked upon. But whoever was working on it didn't finish extracting it. But looking at it, you feel like since you have cleared out the stronghold for the most part, other than of course you and your friends, that you can consider this secure. But you have found this vein of Titan steel that just seems to be growing, or at least was running through the side of this cavern, which was probably why the fire giants here actually posted up for their stronghold, was to harvest this.
All right. We'll go back to Caelum.
Okay, and Caelum, you were inspecting the gate.
Yeah, I would have asked Cori to set up camp inside the forge, and Caelum had gone to the gate.
Okay, make an Arcana check.
Oh boy.
Halfling friend.
25? 18, 19, 23, sorry. I can math.
So 23, you know that there are magics that allow a person to travel from place to place. You have actually been subject to some of these magical abilities when you were helping out Santar during the holiday adventures. And looking at this large gate, you start to recognize some of the runes. You know what their purpose is in casting, although you don't necessarily have the means to cast it yourself yet. But this looks like this gate itself was actually used to be a portal of sorts. And looking at it and reading it, you aren't necessarily sure as to where, but it looks like it was used as a portal.
That's not good. Caelum has his journal out and he's sketching the arch and writing notes.
Okay. Sounds good. So you are sketching out notes, doing all of that while Arjhan is doing his walk around town. Cori, you have taken Gwen and are currently in the process of setting up camp inside of this fire giant stronghold. Is there anything else that you guys would like to do during this time?
Once I get back to Caelum, I'm going to tell him about the Titan Stone. And I'm going to say if we are letting our employers know about this, they're gonna want to know that they really need to think about securing this themselves, like getting guards.
Right. Right. And with the drow presence right outside, that's gonna be even tougher.
They're gonna want to send people down here sooner rather than later. Well, to defend it.
I've only got one casting of sending left, so I've got to make this brief. He turns back to the arch. This was used as a gate to other planes, apparently.
Back whenever they were. You've talked about the giant and the dragon, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Is this sized for giant-sized people to walk through?
Most things in this place are, but you can tell looking at this gate, this was meant for large folk. The gate itself actually is closer to around 30 feet in height, even though the fire giants aren't even half that size. It looks like this gate was sized for a variety of creatures to potentially walk through.
The question is, did they want to leave, or were they trying to bring something here?
I think they were trying to leave. If this was a time where giants and dragons were still around, that would have been during or before the war.
Their own sort of exodus like the dragons?
Yeah. Maybe. That's what I think.
Do you think I should try to shut it down?
Is it not shut down?
Well, make it inoperable. Like, I don't know if we could activate this thing, but if something were to come through or try to force its way through, it wouldn't be anything good.
Looking at anything that, like, all of the petrified, quote unquote, there, like all of the statues that are around, like Cori just kind of like waves an arm at them and says, whatever it does, it's nothing good.
And the Dwarf Kingdom or the Drow Kingdom could get their hands on it, so...
Yeah. Shut it down.
It's gonna take me some doing, but I'll come back when I'm done.
Do you need help?
Yeah, maybe. I'll send Tikan, if anything.
Okay. So, Caelum, you are going off to do your best to render this gateway inert. How are you going about doing this?
He might try to tap into the weave to see if he can use some sort of language to maybe permanently close, like... You know how you bring up like a coding, like a console command?
Yeah.
Yeah, and try and see what like the magics are behind this.
Okay.
And then just like Control A on a line and then delete.
Okay. Make an Arcana check.
18.
An 18, so you aren't able to access the developer tools for this particular gate. But your understanding of this is that if even one letter, if even one rune is destroyed or unaligned, that the gate is no longer operable.
Huh. Guiding Volt.
Yeah, and you won't have to roll for this. You honestly just blast the side of this gate, and one of the runes just crumbles to dust and actually falls down towards the ground, and is the one sound other than the volt that has been made in this cavern that is causing any kind of echo. Yeah, so you're able to properly get rid of that. You can still hear the sound of flowing stone behind you in the river of magma, but you feel confident that this gate will no longer be operable. At that point, you're able to meet up back with your friends inside of the foundry and the area that you see, that all of you can see. Because, Cori, you had your option entering into the foundry, where there was a hallway through the initial gate that looked like it led into a room in front of you, but also broke off on either side. Would you have gone into the room in front, or would you have just stayed in that opening hallway?
I think she wouldn't want to explore unexplored areas on her own.
Okay. Sounds good. So,
Didn't work out too well last
that's fair.
time.
All right, so when it is you, Arjhan, and Cybra with the stoned Gwen, would you have done any exploring while Caelum is out destroying Portal?
I mean, we do need to secure the area.
Yes. So, in the hallway, looking to the right-hand side, you can see that there is a doorway that opens up. And looking in, you can see two large dust-covered chairs that look like they are sized for those of giant kin, with an overturned table kind of near it. And then towards the other side of the room, you can see two large stone slabs that look like they would have been used as some sort of bedding, but more of just the base for it. It looks like just kind of frames at this point. Going into the room, into the hall, you can see that was adjacent from the opening of this area. You can see that there is a large stone table that, again, was sized properly for giants, but atop it are all sorts of old blankets and pillows and book pages that seem to have been like smushed up to be a nest. And you are guessing, based off of the slime that seems to be covering most of this, that this is where the beholder had slept. It had kind of made itself a little place to kind of nestle down in. And towards the back of the room, you can see that there is what looks like a spell circle on the ground next to a bureau that has several instruments that are used for arcane purposes. A pen inside of a dried up inkwell. You see that there are actually several books that are also kind of scattered around, but looking at them, you recognize that they are all written in giant. It seems like in a giant foundry, it will be difficult to find any books that are written in common. And you see that there are several other bookshelves that seem to have been pushed over onto one another, and their contents have since fallen onto the floor. And you see that there are loose pages. There, again, are these large... there are these books that are about the size of... Cori, they come up to your shoulders. It looks like, again, these books were meant for large folk and not necessarily small ones. And that and this room actually leads into against the wall. You can see that there was a hole that the beholder had blasted into the side, and then through that hole there is an actual opening, and through that opening is where the foundry proper was. And Cori, that was where you had been being kept while you were being friends with this beholder. And Arjhan, you see that there are 4 dark iron anvils that rest along the side of the magma river that has been diverted and flows through this room. And across from the river, there is a small island that has an even larger anvil upon it. And you can see that there are some more decorative things to the back of that, to the back towards where that forge is as well. But scanning around, you notice that there are these flaming things that sort of seem to rest and mind their own business, but if you go too far into the room, it seems like they kind of want to gravitate towards you. And Cori, you remember these to be living spell effects.
Oh yeah, look out for those.
What
Those are
are
living
they?
spell effects.
Living spells.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Should we get rid of them?
I mean, they can be dangerous, but what are the moral implications of this?
Are they intelligent?
I don't know. Are they?
You aren't sure. And as you are debating on this, one of them gets near you, and you hear almost like the sound of a fuse. And after that sound completes, there is a spray of fire towards your direction. You're both able to dodge out of the way, as Cori, you're familiar with this pattern of familiar with this pattern of behavior from these living spell effects, but they seem to only exist in this foundry area.
Yeah, we should probably get rid of them.
Yeah, probably. I do need to rest first, though.
Okay.
Okay. So you make your way. Where did you decide to rest? In this, in the foyer of this building, or were you going into the place where the beholder had actually been resting in this more like experimentation room?
We can go into the bedroom. Seems cozy.
Okay. Sounds good. So, Caelum, when you come back, they have made camp inside of this double bedroom with these 2 large chairs. Is that the one that you were picking, or library kind of thing? Because you said bedroom, and one was where the beholder was sleeping, and the other room had actual beds. So I just want to make sure. And by actual beds, I mean...
God. To be honest, I didn't know that there was 2 different rooms. The bedroom, the actual bedroom, where
Okay.
the beds were.
Sounds good.
Because Beholder library was slimy.
Yes.
Then again, Caelum might like the library. I don't know. Did Caelum ever learn Giant?
No, the only person in your party who can read Giant is currently a rock.
Oh, that's okay. Gwen can read it. Oh. I see the problem. I'm dragging Gwen.
You could backpack her now. She has straps.
She has backpack stuff.
Backpack.
All right. So, you guys managed to find your spot to rest for the evening. Caelum, did you want to look in the library for anything else, or were you going to just be reading through the books in common that you have?
I'll look through the library, but as he's walking from the room to the library, he's gonna cast Sending to the person they were talking to at the Ceaseless Quarry.
Okay. Sounds
The
good.
message reads, "From Four Keeps Adventuring Party, Stronghold secured, strong drow presence, need guards ASAP. Party member petrified, need help, camping in the foundry. Note, main entrance block."
And the response that you get is, sounds good. Reinforcements positioned nearby. Shouldn't be much longer.
Okay.
Okay. So you go into the library. Make an investigation check.
It's not a natural 20, but that's a 19. 21.
Okay. So with a 21, you end up finding, as you're looking around, you end up finding a lot of these giant books. And you find several that look like they are blueprints, sort of like how to properly forge a sword, that kind of thing. And one of these blueprints sparks your eye in that you see that it is of what looks like a flower. It's not actually a piece of grand sculpting. It looks like this flower was sized for a small folk, but it was being made by somebody rather large.
Interesting. I could. Wait, did I prep it today? Did not prep it today. Okay. He's gonna roll the blueprint up and tuck it away in his satchel for the time being.
Okay. And then with your 21 in investigation, as you continue to look around, Arjhan, are you also looking, or were you just focusing on getting rest?
I'll help look.
Okay, make an investigation check as well.
10.
Okay.
Wait. 14.
All right, so Arjhan, you also find just these large books and blueprints. And Caelum, you end up finding, with your 21, you end up seeing that the bureau that is set down by the spell circle has a drawer on it that doesn't look like it has been opened in quite some time. And when you go and open up this drawer, you see that there is, inside of a small reliquary, there is what looks like it's a vial that is almost porcelain in color that has this nice gold filigree along the sides of it. And it looks like it has a like rubber ringed stopper at the top, but it doesn't look like this rubber has decayed at all. It looks like it has just stayed in this sort of pristine condition throughout all of these years.
Wonder what this is. If I cast detect magic on it, does it pop?
Oh, it pops. It's very old, but it pops.
It's a banger. Got it. I look over to Arjhan, and if I like rattle it, does it sound like there's a liquid sound in it? Or...
Yeah, it does sound like there is a sloshing of liquid inside.
Can Arjhan try to identify it
Yeah.
without drinking it?
Yes.
Okay. No. I rolled a 4 with my proficiency. That's an 8.
Okay. Opening it up and just putting a little dropper onto a sheet of glass that you have to kind of get a better look at it. It is a deep crimson color that looks like in its depth there is almost like a small flickering flame in this individual droplet.
Whoops. You detected magic. What did you get off of it?
You would have gotten a... This would be a... I want to say evocation?
Some sort of evocation magic off of it?
I mean,
I want to say evocation. Let's see.
We could always drink it and find out.
yeah, but if you drink it, that means you can't drink it later whenever we might need it. We're all about to go to bed.
True. I was gonna say.
Abjuration.
Oh, abjuration.
Yeah.
Abjuration. Sorry.
Abjuration.
All right. Well, small pocket of fire. Just stop it. Hand it to Arjhan.
All right, I will have an unidentified potion.
Okay. Sounds good. So, is there anything else that you guys would like to do for the evening before getting a rest in?
While Cori is settling in, she is absentmindedly telling Gwen stories about Coralon, now that she's got a captive audience.
Sounds
Can I hear these?
No.
No.
Good.
Gwen, as far as you are aware, you are stuck in the moment where you are grabbing onto a beholder. Stay mad. All
Will
right.
she still be raging when she comes back?
She won't still be raging, but she
I wasn't raging.
Yep.
I had run out of rages.
Oh no! Life is rough.
All right. So,
Caelum like turns Gwen just ever so slightly, so she's looking at the door to make himself feel better. She's on watch.
Oh no, Gwen!
okay. So, you guys are able to get your long rest. Are you setting up watches at all?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who's on first watch?
I'll stay up first.
Okay. Sounds good.
Cori will put her scarf on Gwen. She looks cold.
Stone cold.
She's also going to try and enter her spring form during this rest.
Okay. Make a wisdom check.
21.
You are able to switch over to your spring form.
Ah, wonderful. There's a
Excellent.
ring of mushrooms around her after she finishes her rest.
Is there a mirror in this bedroom?
Not in this bedroom, but you would have been able to find a mirror in the other room.
Sure. Probably partway through the night after Caelum's done with his short rest, he's gonna head over there and take off his armor to check his back. He's
Okay.
been feeling rather uncomfortable lately, apparently.
It is it is uncomfortable. And what you are noticing is that on each of the individual scarring marks, where these feathers have been growing out of, you are feeling lumps. They are a bit painful to touch, but all things considered, they aren't doing more than just resting. Like, they aren't moving on their own or doing anything absolutely wild. They are just there. And these lumps aren't very large. They just seem to sort of be, at this point, I want to say, like, the size of an everlasting gobstopper. Like, about yay big.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's not good. Caelum's gonna carry his clothes and his breastplate under one arm and walk back into the room. There's lumps now, apparently.
On your back.
He'll turn and, like, press down on one. Ow.
As someone who has grown wings over the course of this campaign, how early in his development are we talking?
Arjhan, make a nature check.
How many lumps?
I rolled a 2.
You're not... These don't look like wings.
I even started burning my incense early. Like, I just... At some point, I had to realize the dice aren't the problem.
Oh.
There currently seem to be 4 different lumps.
Like, are they symmetrical or are they just kind of randomly?
They seem to be sporadically around him.
Do you mind if I?
Go on, I guess.
She'll like feel them. Are they like squishy, hard? Like, what's the?
They seem a little hard.
Do they hurt him?
A bit. Like, not as resting, but when you're, like, squeezing on it, yeah.
And they're like free floating.
No, they're not. Well, a little, yeah.
Do they seem attached to his skeletal structure?
They do not.
Is this too smart for Cori?
Possibly. But if your hand is literally on it and you're kind of moving it, then yeah, you would
Don't
notice.
jiggle it like that. Cori, why?
Is he ticklish?
Now's
It's
the
painful.
perfect time to find out.
I haven't laughed in 25 years.
God, you're 20 years old.
No? 20-something. I lost track after turning 14.
Oh, well, fair enough. I
I think
literally
you only
don't know
net
how old I
aged
am.
1 year.
Tunic. Breastplate.
Of course, we still don't know your birthday.
Yeah.
You guys gave each other birthdays.
Yeah. We all have the same birthday.
All right, so Caelum, make a investigation check.
Once more into the breach. 18 into dirty 20.
Okay. So with your dirty 20, throughout the evening, you've still you've had access to some of these diaries and journals that you found within this stronghold. And so you start reading them just because no one else is awake and it's something that's new. It's in common, so at least it's legible. And you find 2 more entries of journals from people that you haven't really seen writings of other ways. This seems to be one of the miners that was working on the vein, and then the other was actually a house servant for one of these major fire giants. And the first one from the miner says, "It's done. We helped finish that God's damned masterwork, as Dregbor calls it. Damn thing nearly killed Retki and Zed, but we were given more than our fair share of luxury for finishing it on time. Apparently the dragon and Lord Dregbor said it had to be done by the 15th of Feldrin, and here it is, the 14th, and we are getting paid extra for having done so. Margot and Dellen are going to wee themselves when they see the load of steel they are preparing for us." And then the second entry. "Same as usual today, just trying to dig out that vein of steel. Cal came by again, always knows how to lift our spirits after a long day at the vein. He was quieter than normal, though. Strangest thing, he almost looked sad talking to us. Can dragons even get sad? I'm sure tomorrow he'll get through it. Big creature like him probably just misses those big wings of his in the open sky. I wonder if I'll ever get to see the sky again." Make a history check.
I was about to ask, is there anything specific about the 15th? A 14. Dirty 20 again.
So with your dirty 20, you remember hearing about the Sundering and how it was fixed. The giants and the dragons teamed up and went to the different elemental planes and closed the rift from the other side of those planes. You're guessing, and based on what you've read, this gate that you are next to led to the elemental plane of fire. The giant and the dragon would have been immune to the blast, but everyone else who worked here was not so lucky.
He's gonna shut the journal. Shake his head. Is anyone else awake, or is it just
It
him
would have
right
just
now?
been you at this point. Tikan is awake.
He'll motion for Decan to come over and then just like plop her in his lap like a stuffed animal.
And she will sit there and just be content to be sitting next to her summoner.
Yeah, that's gonna be it for now.
Okay. All right. So then, Cori, you are on third watch?
Yep.
Okay. So it is the end of your watch, Cori, and you hear a thunderous noise coming from farther off in the cavern.
Did we all get a long rest?
You did. You were all able to get your long rests in.
What does it sound like? Thunderous? Like, does it sound mechanical, like geographical, animal?
It does not sound like mechanical or animal. It just sounds like a large booming sound. And that booming sound is then followed by the sound of... It's almost like a plinking sound off in the distance, but you're not entirely sure what that is. You're pretty far away from where that sound is actually occurring.
She kind of tips her head a little bit. She turns around. Did anybody else hear that?
The both of you would have been able to hear it, as it is the only sound in this cave outside of your group.
Sounds like trouble.
Did that sound anything like someone exploding a rock that was set in front of a door to you?
Please don't say that. Whenever you say things like that, then it's true. Coincidentally.
But that is only true if we can expect that there is a sense of narrative foreshadowing in this. I rolled a 6.
Nice!
I love it.
It's fun, it's fresh, it's sexy.
All of my dice are rolling low. That's one I wanted.
Okay. So, exiting out of this foundry, looking down this long expanse of road across the bridge, you can see a humanoid form that is currently standing with their arms up, just pushing rubble aside. And as you get closer, you recognize that a lot of the debris that you had moved down in front of this door has been blasted away by some sort of magical means. And you see 2 drow figures and a humanoid figure. And this human figure is none other than the blood hunter Kodeth. And they seem to have used some sort of magic to help clear the path.
Sorry we didn't leave you anything here to kill.
And Kodeth looks towards your group. So you're the ones that did this?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, please. You know damn well what I'm talking about. We were the ones who were going to clear out this cave, not you.
But it looks like we already have.
And Kodeth snarls and approaches you. And he's standing... He himself stands maybe at 5'10", 5'11", but he gets very close to your group and has a rather intimidating presence about him, possibly due to the fact that most of his face has been burned by a vomit-spitting dragon, acid-spitting dragon, sorry. But he is just looking at you with contempt in his eyes.
You could have fooled me. I mean, it wouldn't be the first time that you trapped me in a dark, lonely place by throwing rocks down.
And he says, that half-breed just should have left you to rot.
Instead, you had to come back. We're monster hunters. That means that we hunt things like you. So that's what I was doing. I was making it easier for everyone.
But again, you're too much of a coward to do it yourself.
What is it you want, Arjhan?
I want us to be done with this.
Well, it looks like your job is finished. If that means so, then my job's finished. Is this what you want? We can settle this. Monster Hunter 2. You.
And then
Is that-
yeah.
Is that how this is going to go down, Kodath?
And they look at you again and say,
I've been gearing up for a fight. I was looking to kill something. To prove a point, I guess I can kill you.
and he pulls out a scimitar and he says,
Judicium sanguinis. You and me. Is that what you want?
A crimson duel. Alright.
You know how this works. No help from them.
and he points towards Cori and Caelum.
If I win, I get to put you in the ground where you deserve to be. You win? That's not gonna happen.
I'm gonna turn my back. Take a few steps to a far end of the cave. Like 100 feet away. Or 60 feet away.
Okay. And he'll follow you. And once you are away from the cavern entrance, he pulls out a piece of chalk and he begins to make a ring. And after he's done finishing with the ring, he takes out a dagger and cuts the palm of his hand, and he squeezes his own blood onto the circle.
I do the same.
And at that, you hear him mutter some of these words. And as he begins to mutter something of an arcane nature, and as he does, the circle around you begins to glow. And then after that brief glow, it is then calm again, and it is just the two of you standing there. And the two drow go up to you, Cori, and Caelum, and one of them's like, they know each other?
Apparently, yes.
It's complicated.
Simplified, I think they're mortal enemies and they're about to duel to the death.
And the two drow sort of look at each other, and then look back at the two of you. You two take bets? It's a fight to the death. There has to be a winner.
I mean, my money would always be on Arjhan.
It's really rather in poor taste.
They look at each other and just shrug. All right, so, Arjhan, you are now in this circle with Kodath.
Are we gonna roll for initiative?
Let's say yes to determine who goes first. You're both standing roughly about 20 feet away from each other.
Okay. 12 exceeds me for 1 second.
Okay. One of these other drow then approaches you, Cori, as everyone else has left. So, what do they do? Like, they cut their hands, they speak spooky words over the circle. I'm not sure what exactly
is,
this means.
Blood magic, I believe.
Ugh. So that's what he's always on about.
Anyway, hi, you can call me Cori.
Gustavo. All right. So as Gustavo and Cori are making introductions with each other before this blood duel, Arjhan, what did you get for your
12.
initiative? All right. So Kodeth gets a 16. And they are looking at you, and as they do, you see they, with their scimitar, swipe it across the palm of their free hand, and the blade itself ignites. And you are familiar with this act, Arjhan, as you typically do things like this as well to invoke your blood right. And the flames that are coming off of this scimitar are it's like a deep purpled flame. It seems like it has this mix of reddish with it, but there is something more sinister to its fire. And they are going to then rush towards you and begin making a assault. So they are going to do 2 attacks towards you. The first is a 14 to hit.
It does not hit.
And the second attack is a 15.
Does not hit.
Okay. And they are now up close and personal with this flaming scimitar as they are trying to strike out against you. It is your turn.
For my bonus action, I will light my claws. For my action, I cast Hold Person. He rolls a 6.
Okay. So he gets a 6.
If he does not beat I believe that's a 14.
Yeah, he don't. 'Cause that's a wisdom save, right?
Yep.
Yeah, he don't.
He is paralyzed for 1 minute.
Does he save it out of this at all?
At the end of each of its turns, he can make another wisdom save
Okay. Sounds good.
if he lasts that long.
All right. So it is his turn. And his body kind of tenses up. And Cori, you and Caelum can see that Arjhan, what does it look like when you cast Hold Person on Kodeth?
So first off, he sort of just like Wolverine's out, except for he whenever he undoes his claws, that same greenish yellow flame starts erupting from it, and then he just reaches out and like almost like force chokes him, and then Kodeth, as he's just like slashing, just like sort of tenses up.
Okay. All right, so then goes to Kodeth's turn. Him being hold, so save at the end of the turn. That is a 9. Does not save, so he remains paralyzed. It is your turn.
I would like to use my bonus action to invoke Blood Curse of the Marked.
Okay.
He's paralyzed, so it's incapacitated. Attack rolls against the creature have advantage. Great. 18.
18 hits, so it therefore critical. And with paralyzed, does he repeat the save if he takes damage?
No.
Okay. Cool.
I didn't come here to fuck around. Oh, just double Crimson Right damage, or is it double the dice?
I always do double the dice.
No, I mean for my Blood Curse.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's double the Crimson Right dice rolled.
Now, all Crimson Right damage I deal is doubled.
Nice.
Look, Blood Hunter just got like an entire new class today, so I'm barely holding on to this. 7 points of piercing damage or slashing damage on the first attack, and 5 points of fire damage doubled, so like 10.
Okay.
That's so much higher. 22.
That'll hit.
7 more points of slashing damage. 7 points of fire damage, doubled to 14.
Oofy owie my bones. Okay. Cool.
My turn.
Okay, sweet. Well, he's still paralyzed, so big whammy. He saves out. He got a 25.
Okay.
And as soon as he saves out, he just looks at you. And again, there is contempt in his eyes as he is looking on towards you. And he says, "You and that half-breed should have just stayed lost, but you just had to come back and be utterly useless."
Need to make a wisdom save again.
That is a 19.
Okay.
Alrighty. Do you have a bonus action or anything else that you would like to do?
Nope, sure don't.
Okay, sounds good. It is now Kodeth's turn, and he is not happy. And you see that his sword, while it has still remained being in flame this entire time, he squeezes it as hard as he can, and you see a twisted grin form on his face, where one side, again, with the melting, you can see that he's actually causing himself pain to be able to bring this smile onto his face. And he says,
There are nights where I have dreams about leaving you in the grave that I found for you. And I wake up laughing.
and as he says that, the flames ignite even further than where they were, and you see a demonic-looking face within the flames themselves as this blade burns even brighter, and he is going to try and spear out towards you with it. So, well, that's an 11 on the first one, so he no hit there. And then I'm going to assume that a 28 hits.
Yes.
Okay. So he is going to deal 14 points of slashing damage.
I need him to make a dexterity saving throw.
Okay. That is a 19.
He takes 3 points of fire damage.
Okay. So he takes.
So you did the slashing damage. Was there any fire
Yes.
damage on top of that?
Yes. So from his crimson right, you take 3 points of fire damage and then an additional 6 points of fire damage. And then he is going to use an action surge. He is going to make a second round of attacks against you. He only has so much that he can do. So another 27 to hit. Okay, so that is for... Let's see here. 15 points of slashing damage. And then 6 points of fire damage. Then he is going to make his fourth attack towards you. And that is a 21 to hit.
Yeah.
And that is for 14 points of slashing damage and 10 points of fire damage.
All right.
That is it for his turn.
Mm-hmm. So is that enough?
Yep.
Okay. How's he looking?
He is looking bloodied.
Gee, it's dizzy. Okay.
Yep, how about you? And he looks at you and says,
I've waited for the day that you were stupid enough to try this with me.
I'm gonna take a 5-foot step back, possibly provoking an attack of opportunity.
he'll take it. He'll try and smack you. He fails.
Okay. This. No, I'm not.
Not taking the step?
Mm.
Okay. Well, he missed anyway, so...
Shit. Fuck. No, I'm making this decision.
Okay.
Taking a couple more swings. Hex for my bonus action.
Okay.
It's 14 hit.
A 14 does not hit.
21.
21 hits.
Disadvantage on strength checks.
Okay.
4 points of slashing. 5 points of necrotic, 4 points of fire.
Okay.
That's my turn.
So he is going to extend his bloodied hand out towards you, and he is going to cast Scorching Ray. So...
I am within 5 feet of him. All of these will be at disadvantage.
Okay. If you were within 5 feet, he would have just kept using his saber. Sorry, I thought that you had taken the step back.
No.
Okay. So without that, he is going to try and make stabs out towards you. That is a natural 1. So he is unable to hit you with that particular strike, and then he is going to try for his second attack. And that is a 22 to hit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that is going to be for 13 points of slashing damage and 8 points of fire.
Okay.
And then as a bonus action, he is going to use a second wind.
Okay.
And that's it for his turn.
I failed my first death save.
At what point shall I roll into initiative?
You could roll into initiative as soon as you see Arjhan go down, that is for sure.
Cool, because I would like to.
Okay.
Initiative is 17.
Okay. Cori, you get to go before, before Arjhan's friend does. So, Cori, what are you doing? You see Arjhan drop down.
Throughout this fight, Cori has been really uncomfortable, and like whenever Arjhan would take a hit, she would take a step forward, and then like Caelum would put a hand,
arm on her.
Yep. And as soon as Arjhan goes down, she's going to drop to Raven form and face step between them. And she will cast Aura of Vitality to get some healing going on her next turn. And she's got her sword out, pointed at, I'm sorry, what's his friend's name?
Kodath.
Kodath. She's got her sword pointed at Kodath. And she's just clearly standing between him and Arjhan in a protective manner. And that's all her turn.
And Cori, as you have appeared in this circle, cast a spell. Kodath looks at you, and the smile that he had on his face when he was fighting Arjhan drops. And you see his head drop a little bit, and the flames on his sword stop. And you hear him start laughing. And he continues to laugh, and then looks back up towards you.
You really don't know how the rules work, do you?
I don't care how the rules work. I'm not going to let you kill him.
That's the way of the Crimson Trial. That is the way our society determines things. What you've done, you've put a black mark on your friend. Now that is a worse fate than death, my friend. I've won this battle just by your presence, so thank you.
And he sheathes his sword, turns around, and begins walking away from you.
She keeps her sword on him the entire time he walks.
Okay. Arjhan, make a death saving throw. Success! Alright, and Caelum, you and Cybra are watching as Kodath is just walking back with the other drow. Or back towards these drow figures. And then looks towards them and nods towards the direction that your group came from. And they look at him confused, and he barks something at them. What languages do you speak?
Celestial, Common, Draconic, Dwarvish, Elvish. So if it's Undercommon, no.
It is indeed an Undercommon. And the two drow just sort of nod and then look at each other and kind of shrug a little bit, and then they begin to make their exit as well.
Are they going towards the foundry?
No. They are going towards the same... It seems like they tracked you down the way that you guys were able to enter into the Stronghold was the way that they had entered into the Stronghold as well, through that Beholder's Tunnel. You also had left a rope to help your ease of escape, but it seems like they made use of the rope just as well. And as Kodath is passing by you, Caelum, he nods and says,
I look forward to seeing you and your friend again.
His jaw sets. Oh, are you gonna be a good boy, Caelum? Okay. He has his hands in his cloak's pocket, but there's like a small glow, but then it just snuffs.
okay. and as it snuffs, Kodeth peered down, saw the glow, and then looked back up towards you and says,
Maybe you'll all learn your place next time.
Oh, fuck that. I'm using Nevermore Shrike on this fucko.
God damn it.
4th level. Does a 17 hit?
a 17 does.
Sorry, 1 second. Nope. He takes 33 points of... What did I say this was? Psychic damage?
He takes the 33. He's still standing.
Cool.
And as your spell comes to an end, you hear a sound of scabbards being drawn or swords being pulled from their scabbards, and you feel metal in a X-like formation across your neck as the 2 drow that are with Kodeth have you there. And he looks back towards you and says,
We're done here. We're leaving. Isn't that what you wanted? Isn't that what your group wanted? It's for us to leave, so we're doing so.
The next time we see you, you better be prepared.
I've heard that before, and you know what, shitbag? I always am.
He's going to turn to the drow and say in Elvish, if you value your lives, you're going to run as far as you can.
and they continue to hold their blades against you, and you can see that they are dripping with poison.
You better listen to him, Gustavo.
Who?
It's one of the drow.
Oh.
Yeah. Does Arjhan automatically fail a death save if someone breaks the fourth wall?
You're in my aura of vitality. I'm just
Yeah.
waiting.
Arjhan, you're stable at this point.
All right.
Go ahead and take 9 hit points.
So, Caelum, as you are getting ready to do whatever it is that you are about to do, Arjhan, you wake up and you see Caelum looking like he is about to fuck up Kodeth. Are you going to stop him at all, or are you going to let this happen?
He's just gonna say Caelum.
Caelum will turn his head to Arjhan.
And Arjhan, you see that the drow have 2 short swords pressed up against Caelum's neck. They look defensive. They don't look like they are like in the midst of about to strike him. It looks like this is for intimidation purposes.
I'm going to get up. I'm gonna get up and go over to Caelum and just like get him to, like, put my hand on your shoulder. Like,
He's
stand down.
shaking as you put your hand on his shoulder.
How's Kodeth looking?
He's not looking great.
Like single digits?
He looks like he could possibly be within single digits. But at the same time, he always did have this rather sturdy aura about him.
I don't know. Is he gonna come up and say something else cute?
No.
Cam will step back if Arjhan's telling him to step back. Just the hands up, back away.
That's it.
And Kodeth will continue to, at this point again, he looks towards you and just glares at the lot of you. And then he and his group leave. And as they are making their way away, that is where we are going to go into our break for the evening. So I would like to say thank you to everybody who decided to stick with us and join us for this wonderful session of D&D amongst friends, having a good time with absolutely zero anxiety. We are going to try and be back in 5 to 10 minutes, so don't go no place unless it is to grab a food, grab a drink, grab a friend, or possibly go to indooradventure.redbubble.com, pick yourself up a Hint of Fame mug or some other such nice, wonderful thing. And we will see you guys shortly. All right, everybody. Hello, everybody.
Steven!
Yes!
What's your favorite LaCroix flavor?
Lime.
Oh, mine is Hint of Fae.
Oh, I'm so happy that that shirt turned out so well.
It's very comfortable.
Good. I'm glad. We chose to go with Redbubble for making our t-shirts, and honestly, I've been so happy seeing all of the Hint of Fae stuff come out of there. Send me pics on Twitter. Tag me if you get merch. I want to see it. I want to see it in real life. But speaking of stuffs that we have to see in real life, Kodeth is currently walking away with his 2 drow companions. They are attempting to leave the stronghold. They are not saying anything more snarky. Caelum, you are simmering, and Arjhan, you have a hand on your friend holding them back from making some kind of decision. What would you like to do? Can't hear you.
Arjhan is not saying anything.
Okay. And eventually, the 2 drow and Kodeth will make their way out of sight, leaving the 3 of you there. Caelum is currently shaking. Arjhan is staying entirely quiet. Cybra is hackles raised, ears back, tail a little bit between the legs, just kind of like panting heavily up next to the 2 of them. And Cori, what are you doing?
Cori's gonna stay close to Arjhan as she maintains her aura of vitality, and over the course of a minute, he regains 72 HP. And during this, she will just kind of walk up behind him. She's going to keep her eyes on the place where those folks left, and she's going to say, "I'm sorry, Arjhan, I couldn't let them kill you."
Get Gwen.
She sheaths her sword, and she walks away.
Okay. And then is there anything else that you guys would like to do during this time? Arjhan just
Leave
seems...
the cave.
Okay. Sounds good. So you guys begin. Arjhan quietly is just making his way towards the cave exit that you all had followed. And Caelum, you can sense that there is an incredible amount of tension in the air. You are part of that tension. But all things considered, it is just a very quiet trip. Cori, you are able to pick up and move Gwen, and eventually the lot of you get to where the rope was. It seems like Kodeth and his group actually took your rope that you had left for the purposes of climbing.
I've got another one. And I will get the rope, undo my pack, leave my shield with my pack, and kind of lift Gwen.
Arjhan will grab the rope and just misty step up, tie it, secure it.
Okay. So it takes you guys a little bit to get all of your things together, but eventually you are able to grab everyone that you can, and you begin making your way out of this cave. And you get back to the main road, and as you're getting stationed there, you hear the sound of metal on stone in a very regimented order, and looking down this road from up above where you are, you can actually see that there is a retinue of dwarven figures wearing the regalia of Sir Tellier that are making their way down this pathway. It seems like reinforcements truly were not very far away. In the chance that you were able to secure it, they had sent reinforcements down just so that way they could quickly establish that they were the people who belonged here, but you see them down below. And they take notice of you, give you proper greetings, and eventually you kind of show them, lead them how to get back to this cave. They thank you and then leave you as you were to then travel back on the road to Sir Tellier. It'll be a 5-day journey to get back. Does the demeanor of the party change at all during this time?
Yeah, the first night, whenever we decide to actually rest, Arjhan will be, I'm sorry. Sorry I snapped.
To Cori.
Mm-hmm. But, like, he's not meeting your gaze, but yeah, he does say that.
She reaches out and takes his hand. I wasn't going to let him kill you. And I still won't.
It won't be him you have to deal with. It'll be all of them. Every member of every sanguine order on every continent. Until one of them finally kills me. And disposes of my body and possibly soul in a way that it can never be restored.
Well, then it looks like I'm going to have to keep an eye on you. You don't belong to them.
You're right. You're absolutely right. I always knew there was a point where I would have to finally cut ties with them. I was hoping I wouldn't have to bring you into this, all of you.
doesn't matter, Arjhan. We'll still fight for you, so... Let them come, I guess. I hope they like ice. Lots and lots of ice.
Or swords. Radiant fire, smiting. Lots of smiting.
Lots of electricity.
And Cybra has just sidled up very close to you, Arjhan, and is just looking up at you with those big, please scratch me, you'll feel better eyes. Just like that. Yep.
I have a prop.
Don't objectify lady.
Lady is Cybra confirmed.
Yeah.
Gwen is going to be ecstatic to have something else to hit with an axe.
Gwen is gonna be pissed she missed this.
Okay.
Can't.
It's really hard for me to not kick myself for this, but... I need time. I'm gonna need a lot of time.
We might need a break.
Well, hopefully we're getting paid. Hopefully we can get Cori's season, and hopefully we can get the fuck out of Dodge. Said Shelia.
Well, if all things go according to plan, in the next 4 or 5 days.
How are you doing on the mansion tracking?
How are we doing on the mansion tracking?
You've
How are
been
we doing on the mansion?
You've been doing relatively well with the mansion tracking. You know that it is currently, if I scooch to the side, sorry audiocast listeners, that it is pointing to, at this point you've been able to track it for about 10 days or so. And it looks like it is always pointing towards this bottom section into this wooded area of the map. The other thing that you notice is that there are 2 spots where your previous attempts at mapping actually do overlap, but because you weren't far enough west in your own map, the overlap is too long of a point. There's no definitive X marks the spot. It's more of like a very long overpass.
We'd have to go more lateral? Longitudinal is this way. Lateral is.
Yeah.
Sorry, AutoCast. This is what you miss.
You must head
But
to
we
the
have a-
past.
We have a few spots.
But yeah, so you're doing relatively well with that. And then you also have this unknown potion that you managed to get from inside of the foundry as well. Would you like to, do you have any sort of process of identifying that at all?
I mean, just more alchemy checks, but I've already failed one.
Okay.
I think I would identify as a spell.
Can you prepare identify?
Nope, that was when I was a knowledge cleric. Never mind. Lol.
Get
Lol.
wrecked.
Okay. So you have this unknown vial with you. Arjhan, you could make another alchemy check if you wanted.
There's one way to find out.
Could I assist? Being science bros.
You could assist as a science bro. Also,
Is
you
this
will
whiskey
have
or
a total
perfume?
of 5 blood dyes over your journey.
14.
A 14, you know that this potion has something to do with a resistance to fire.
21.
So
No!
with a 21, It's like elementally charged blood. It seems like it's not made from any kind of oil base or anything like that. It seems like this potion is actually something's blood that just has this flame deep within it.
Okay. Would I need to identify it further?
That's about as much as you're going to be able to get just from the names, as like just from its abilities. You would have to either get somebody to identify it, or you would just have to drink it and find out as to what would actually be what this potion would actually be. But as you are looking at it, you also you have a realization that a potion this old should have evaporated by now. It seems like this vial also has some sort of innate magical properties in it that will allow whatever's inside to remain usable. So it seems like a fancy vial as well.
Good to know.
Oh, lady's so cute. Goddamn. But you guys are eventually able to make it back towards Sertshelier after the 5th day of travel. And at this point, you are kind of glad to be back at the city rather than in the labyrinthine tunnels that exist beneath it that lead deeper into the Underdark. Where are you guys going? You currently have a stone Gwen with you. The lights have not shifted to indicate the late night shift. It seems like it is roughly midday from how you're able to track it.
I imagine that we've been swapping Gwen between us, backpack style, and Caelum has her, and he starts like heading off to things that make you say wow.
Why don't you go to the House of Inspired Hands? Is that the thing?
Yeah.
Sure.
It's technically the Temple of Skilled Hands, but that's close enough. I know where you guys are going.
I'm thinking of Waterdeep.
Yep. I definitely didn't steal the adjacent name from there.
I was like, why does that sound so familiar? Okay.
So, why don't you go to the Temple of Skilled Hands, see if they can do some greater restoration, or some high-level clerical magic to fix Gwen, and also maybe identify that potion that you have.
No, I thought
That you have.
Okay.
Handing it over. I'll go get the money.
Okay.
I promise I'm not gonna do anything uncouth.
Cori,
I will meet you. I will meet you there.
Cori looks between her two science bros, and she's like, "Ooh, buddy system is a whole lot harder with Gwen stoned like this."
Cori, go with Caelum, and gods, I hope that potion is going to help you get part of yourself back.
She looks a little bit suspiciously at him, and she'll give him a little punch on the shoulder. And she's like, "All right, we'll see you later."
See you later.
We're going to need a plan for Gwen. When she comes back, we're going to need something for her to hit and something for her to drink.
Yes.
Well, she does have a tankard that automatically refills herself 3 times a day.
All right, all right.
And I guess I can stand in front of her to see if she stops.
You can certainly try.
That's a gamble, but I'm willing to go with it.
Okay. So our elves are coming up with a cunning plan, so when Gwen comes out of her combat mode, that she will at least have one of them to lay the hit down on. And Arjhan, you head to the Ceaseless Quarry.
Yeah.
Okay. Upon your arrival, the clerk, Yevon, the halfling, is... they look up from their paperwork and see you, and you see a smirk kind of appear on their face, and they say, well, well, it's nice to see you finally decided to come back. Everything goes smoothly down there? I was honestly a little bit surprised. I thought that it would take longer for the explorative mission aspect of it, but it seems like everything checked out. Normally when we send explorers down, it's rife with all sorts of nasties, but if there was,
yeah.
you seem to have taken care of it rather quickly.
Yes, there were definite nasties. Yeah, we're done. Everybody's dead. We're holding it.
All right, excellent.
What do we do now?
Well, with that, and they take a step down, and you see them go into a back room, and then quickly come back out, and they say, would you... Survivors, do you need it divvied up in 4, 3, 2, or just you?
I'll do the divvying.
Fair enough. And they set a satchel of... it's a smaller satchel than you thought that you would be receiving. You had been promised 4,000 gold pieces upon the completion of the mission, and when you look inside, you see that there is actually 400 platinum pieces. So same currency value, but just smaller space.
All right. Thank you.
And they nod and say, no, thank you. You've earned your right as a member of the Ceaseless Quarry. If you ever decide to it, I look forward to doing business with you yet again. But until then, for the next 7 days, you are more than welcome to use our amenities. You can stay here. We can feed you, clothe you, all sorts of things as thanks.
Whenever we came to accept this job, you asked for an endorsement. Is that right?
Yes.
I can endorse anybody who comes in here from the Tyrant Security Company.
I'm not familiar. Are they like those Southpaw security guys?
They're better. And I promise you will hear of them.
Well, I guarantee that I will probably hear of them, but whether or not they're better stands to the actual test. But if they're anything like you, I'm sure they're fine.
They
Who
have my endorsement.
Do I have any names that I should look out for as possible hirees?
Yes. Anybody who has a coin like this.
All right, I'll take your word for it. Thank you again. City owes you one.
Wait, what we secured down there, the city owes us a lot more than that, but thank you. And Arjhan will make his way out.
And they smile at you curtly and nod as you walk out. Gwen and Cori and Caelum, you make your way to the Temple of Skilled Hands. And upon your arrival, you can see that Altum, the head dwarf that had dissuaded you from hopping in magma previously, is currently working with some other skilled dwarves to at least draw out some blueprints. And when the lot of you arrive, he says, "Oh, and welcome to the Temple of..." "Oh, it's you again." And he
Hello,
points
Master.
towards you. "Please don't go jumping in the fire. I can't express this enough. Do not jump in there."
But we're not gonna go jumping in the fire.
All right.
You know, I wasn't thinking about it, but and then she.
No,
gets
I
out
don't
her
believe
skull.
you.
She gets out her skull. Is it still pointing down there?
Yeah, it's still pointing over towards there.
That's a problem for later, though. She just shoves it back in there.
Cori, so help me, I will
You will-
tackle you, and
You will
then
what?
he will take a knee and put Gwen down. Do you have anything that could fix and motions?
Do it. I mean, that's a beautiful piece of handiwork that you have there.
No,
Who
no, no, no,
sculpted
no,
it?
no, no.
No.
I
This
don't
is
see anything
Gwen.
wrong with this one.
This was the halfling that was with us. She got turned to
Oh.
material.
She is rather beautiful, isn't she?
Divine, wouldn't you say?
It depends on your
I
interests.
would not say divine, actually. No, she's not divine.
As for if I have something, I mean, all I really have is faith. If that helps. Faith and a good mind.
Is it enough?
It
Probably
shouldn't be
not.
enough. How dare you? Now, you're looking to change her from whatever happened.
To normal.
But just back to normal, the way she was before.
Also, you probably don't want to stand in front of her. She was about to hit something.
That's true.
Okay. I have dealt with this before. But we will require a donation.
How much of a donation?
You're looking at close to... Is she all stone?
Yes? I mean, I haven't been able to inspect her properly, considering her clothing is stoned as well.
You'd be looking at 3,000 gold pieces.
Do we have enough? I have 1.4, I believe.
Cori is counting.
Um,
I have 1.2. We're gonna have to wait for Arjhan to get back.
Well,
there.
we...
Unless you'll accept this, and she gets out like a little jar of slime.
What is that?
I don't know.
I was gonna say, unless you would take this, and he holds up, like, the rolled up blueprint.
And he pauses. What's that?
It's a blueprint I found in a fire giant stronghold.
And at that, he quirks an eyebrow. Let me see that.
I'm kind of interested to know what it is, too, so we could... Let's both look at it.
Yeah. We'll
Yeah,
figure it out. And
He'll go off with Ultim.
and Altum, he doesn't go very far. Cori, it is just kind of you standing in the foyer of this large temple with a stoned Gwen. And
She's
Altum
looking at that pool.
Fuck.
and Altum is in the process of figuring out what exactly this was. And he's going to make an investigation check. And it's kind of lost on him. He sees that it's important, but his giant is just a tad bit rusty.
Well, Gwen can read giant. If anything, I could float the 1,500 I have now and have her read through it. Halfsies on the restoration, I guess.
And he looks at you. Says, make a persuasion check.
$14.
Okay. And he says, listen, I'm sure you're very nice, but it takes a lot of my casting ability to be able to do things like this.
Oh, no, for sure. I mean, we're just gonna have to wait for our treasurer to get here.
I understand. Well, until then, you're more than welcome to explore around as you please, except please don't go I see your friend looking at it rather conspicuously.
know.
She's right up next to it again.
Cori, Yander,
What?
come here.
I wasn't going to do anything. She just walks up.
What is your fascination with that?
It's a very long story.
He just shakes his head. In the meantime, is there anything else I can help you with?
Do you happen to have a, I guess, dwarvish to giant translator? Or like a lexicon? I could do some work on the blueprint while we wait.
And he says, we don't exactly have a giant translator lying
Oh,
around.
right, because giants are... Sorry, that's a player mistake.
That's okay. Somewhere you've made the black dragonborn bleed.
Stop it, you're hurting him.
So, Cori, make a stealth check. This is just to see the frequency with which you are able to get away standing next to this large pool of magma.
I'm in plate. 6.
Okay. Every time Cori starts to shuffle near there, you are all able to easily identify Cori trying to shuffle and then bring her back in. Arjhan, you eventually arrive at the Temple of Skilled Hands. Gwen is currently not back from being in stone. And it seems like Caelum is doing his best to try and get Cori to steer away from the pool of magma.
Cori, I swear to Corlon, I'm going to tie you up like I did Gwen.
Hi.
Hi. We
What?
need money. Father.
Please.
Sorry.
Is he your
Please
son?
call me daddy.
This is weird.
You're supposed to ask your mother for money. Your father doesn't have any money.
No, then I wouldn't
like your
know
person?
about parents, Cori.
Shit.
This dwarf just has like a mild grimace on their face.
Sorry, what services have they asked you for?
Well, they asked if I could cure your friend from stone, so I said that I could. It was just, there's a donation fee.
Okay. What? Typically,
You're looking at around 3,000 gold pieces.
I can front some of it too, Arjhan. It's not bad.
I hand him 300 platinum pieces.
And his eyes get big when you hand him platinum, and he says, your donation is much appreciated. And is there any other service that I can do for you while I'm still here?
Hey,
Yes.
can you take Gwen on a date?
Do you have anything
I
you need to
could,
smash?
but my heart wouldn't be in it.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, if there was any scrap metal or anything that you need hit really hard, I'm sure she's going to continue to have that momentum whenever she's unfrozen, so...
I could put her in front of a stone wall. If you would
I don't think that
rather.
How strong of the wall is it?
Yeah.
And he motions with his hands around, and the walls are not Curse of Strahd 5 foot like medium wall space. Like, it is made with structural integrity in mind. They look like they could take quite a hit.
I'll catch her.
Lifts Gwen up, positions her next to a wall, just calculating where it would hit. That's good.
Do you also... Can you identify the properties of a potion without drinking it?
Now that is something I actually am not able to do. I think one of our students might be able to assist in the matter, but it's not in my wheelhouse for the day.
Yeah, if you could bring him to do it, that we would also very much appreciate that.
Okay. And so he calls forth a very regal looking fellow. Everyone in this area definitely has a level of dirt and grime about them, but the way that this figure seems to carry themselves is definitely you can tell that they are from a higher caste in society than any of the other members of the congregation. And this individual introduces themselves as Truber, and they ask, all right, so can I see what you got there? Okay, and he is going to spend 10 minutes identifying this, and while this is happening, Gwen, a greater restoration is also being cast upon ye. And the greater restoration is still going to be happening after, while the identify actually takes place. It's going to take a little bit to actually cure your friend from being stoned. As all of the ritualistic magics are put into place. And Truber lets you know, he says, where did you find this?
A fire giant stronghold about 5 days down from here, which is now under the city's protection.
I've never seen anything like it.
Okay, and what is it that you have never seen anything like?
Well, and he says, looking at this potion, it's called Surtur's Blood. It's whoever drinks it will be immune to fire for about 10 minutes.
Cori? I think this is for you.
And Altum, who is in the process of the Greater Restoration, just looks up with eyes full of worry. Just no. And then Truber hands it back to whoever reaches for it.
I guess Cori will take it.
And then Truber will bow and go back towards the rest of the group that was there and continue helping them work on what looks like a mechanical mole. Just a small automatic digging apparatus. All right.
Is that the biggest thing that you've worked on?
And Truber, he says, well, I'm working on something for my free time. But this is... well, it's a class project. And he just sort of gives you a big smile and then continues working with his friends.
Is this just like an automatic thing, or like would this be like a vehicle?
You feel like if it was bigger, it could possibly be a vehicle, but as it is right now, it just looks like a small contraption.
An automaton?
And
Or just a tool?
Truber says that it's just a tool for now. And as you are speaking with Truber, Gwen, the last thing that you remember was a dire situation. Cori was paralyzed and had just fallen into magma, to which your drow friend, and friend in very heavy quotation marks, was able to save them, but you latched onto this beholder. Then Arjhan was there, and together you and he were slashing into it, and then one of its eye stalks turned on you and zapped you with this crazy wizard magic, and then next thing you knew, your muscles started to seize, and your vision started to go black. What was going on in Gwen's head as she was in the process of being petrified?
Probably just like, well, if this is how I go out, I'm going out fucking fighting, saving my friends.
Okay. And you had you were holding on to beholder eyes, and your vision went black, and you lost all feeling. Suddenly, your vision returns. Your ability to move returns. You are still full of that battle rage, and you yell, and you go to swing out towards the nearest thing towards you, and your axe, now no longer stone, swings forward, and then you feel a jarring sensation in your arm as you connect against a large stone wall, and it's just that painful vibrating feeling that you get. Yeah. But you are no longer in the tunnel. It seems like you are surrounded by dwarves in a large workshop-like area. Caelum, Cori, and Arjhan are all there. And
Did I die?
Welcome to heaven.
Where are all the virgins?
Do not lie to her. She just points at Caelum.
Hey!
Terrible. No. Gwen, I understand that this is going to be kind of confusing for you. You were turned to stone. We got you back. Everything's fine now. Have a drink.
But I didn't go to an afterlife.
You
Oh my
didn't die.
gods, am I going to the void?
You didn't know. You didn't die, Gwen. You were just stone.
So I didn't die?
You did not die.
Your
Huh.
perfect record is still unblemished as
You're
of right
still
now.
the only one who hasn't died.
And at that, Altum just looks at you all very concerned.
You don't deal with adventurers very often, do you?
No, I do. Normally, they just stay dead.
Oh, hey, what's up, dude?
Hi.
Oh, Gwen, I know you just came out of being stoned, but could you read this?
Yeah, hold on. She reaches in her bag, pretends to pull out a pair of glasses, and puts them on. What does it say?
So, this flower is effectively it's a tuning fork.
It's like a tuning fork. It's like a thing you use to, like,
Find sounds.
find sounds. I'm sorry, I wanted to make sure it was like a musical tuning fork,
Yeah.
not like a magical tuning fork.
Column A, column B.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So, like, how long has it been? Because we were...
5 days.
20
Oh.
years. 5 days.
Caleb, stop it.
I'm sorry, I'm going through a lot right now.
You guys look like you're, no worse. Where's the drow dude?
He bounced.
Oh,
Quite
Sean scared
literally.
him off.
Right. But you guys are okay?
Mhm.
Did we kill it? Did I
Yep.
kill it?
The beholder? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it's dead.
Sweet.
Well, actually, probably not.
What?
It's been
Taken.
repulsed.
So blood hunters don't like us now.
Blood hunters don't like me now.
Us.
I thought they
blood
didn't
hunters
like...
don't like us now.
I thought they didn't like us to begin with.
No,
But
there
even
was a
more so.
specific one. Now all of them don't.
I thought they were all assholes.
Exactly.
The ones that
I
I
healed
knew
him.
were Well, we'll talk about this later.
Okay. Thank you for bringing me back, dude.
It's no problem. Why do the hunters not like you?
I don't know. They said they're gonna explain it later.
Look, you know what? That's okay. That's fine. I have done my piece. I'm sure you're all lovely people who don't mean to upset those that you come across. You're all fine. And he just sort of bows and says, I need to get back to teaching, though.
Yeah,
Oh.
please.
Wait, here. She goes in her pocket and pulls out like 50 gold and hands it to him. For the church, right?
Thank you.
Thank you.
He gives you a nod, and as you give him the gold, Gwen, you feel the effects of a guidance spell.
Solid. Well, I need a drink. Anyone else for a drink?
Sure.
Decent
Wait,
drink,
what time of day
Cori
is it?
says, getting out that fire potion.
I slap her hand, but not on the fire potion.
Excuse you.
No. We
Yes.
think this through. You are not jumping in there immediately.
Why?
Wait, are we back on this again? Guys, Jesus fuck.
We have-
Walking and talking.
So, yeah,
Yes.
walking
Yeah.
and talking. Cori, like, looking over her shoulders at that fire pool. It has. It'll make me immune.
For
To
10 minutes.
Yeah,
For
one,
10 minutes, that's long enough.
you can't see in fire.
How do you know that?
Because it's lava. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? It's lava. You can't see through murky water. You can't see through lava. How do you know you're gonna get where you want to get?
Follow the
Besides,
spell.
I'm the best swimmer.
Lie again.
What? Oh my God! I'm sorry. I forgot.
You are literally the best swimmer.
I am learning. Character faults. Sometimes I forget them, okay? I've been sitting here for 2 hours.
Let's go get Gwen a drink.
Yeah.
God, I need some alcohol.
All right. So, you guys end up going. Are you going back to the journey's end?
Mm-hmm. We have stuff waiting for us.
Okay. And when you arrive at the journey's end, you do indeed have a parcel waiting for you, Arjhan. It seems to have come from the Isle of Arask. It took a while to get here, but it eventually found its way. And you see in Oliver Myraloran's expert handwriting a brief ledger kind of describing the different sails. And that kind of went through and what they can expect. It seems like now that it's turned springtime, the weather is getting better again for the denizens of the island, but there is still a note that Arask has not returned. And you receive 1,500 in gold pieces, as well as 4 potions of greater healing. Seems like owning a potion shop does you well when you can tell them where you're ordering things from.
If only we had a permanent address.
Soon.
Anything for me and Gwen?
For Gwen, there is still no letter from Philip, as it's going to take quite a while. What were you asking for?
Swords and axes?
Oh yes, you do have those. You know that you said that you would go and pick them up not to get them sent to the journey. Or no, you had said on the last day to get drop them off at the journey's end. So yes, there is a familiar looking hilt inside of a nicer scabbard, as well as a set of fine axes for you, Gwen.
Ah, fuck yeah! Gwen starts like flipping them.
Everybody can add to their character sheet one of the greater potions of healing,
Nice.
and also 25 platinum pieces.
Beyond what we got before?
That was what you got before.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry, was it greater healing?
Yes.
Oop, oh. Caelum will take the sword and unsheath it. Look it
Okay.
over.
Alrighty. So, Cori, you see as you're sitting at the table talking with Gwen, that Caelum stands up, grabs something from behind the counter, is gifted it to it, looks at it really quick, and then begins walking your direction. And he is holding what appears to be Moonlight's Edge, but you know that you have the hilt of your blade in your bag, or at least it was there last time you checked.
It's not quite the original, but it'll protect you. And he'll hand it to her.
She will hold it, kind of brace it between her left arm and her body, and she unsheaths it and just kind of looks at it and admires it for a moment. And she sheaths it again, looks up at Caelum, and then just pulls him in for a hug.
He'll pat her back.
It's beautiful.
I mean, it's something, right?
It's ridiculously sentimental. Which is 100% up my alley.
Kiss. Kiss.
Just Gwen sitting there with a big mug, eyebrows raising every time she says it.
Cam will give Cori a gentle headbutt and then break away.
Damn it.
One
Cori
day.
will go and give it a couple of experimental swings outside.
All right.
I'm feeling really bad, aren't I?
You did not regain any hit points.
Oh shit, Gwen.
Gwen, as
Well, it's
soon as
just
you
like-
came out of being stoned, you had that initial adrenaline of like, yeah, battle! And then you had like further like anxiety seeing Caelum and Cori's faces get so close to each other while you were saying kiss, and then they didn't. And now that that's sort of petering out of the way, you realize you don't have any more rages left. In one day, you fought a dire troll and a beholder. Did a bunch of other bullshit. Sleepy time sounds awesome, but you're able to still like keep up and as you're going, but you've taken a significant amount of damage.
Gwen heals for 28.
You don't have to heal. We're just gonna go to sleep, right?
Oh, I mean...
No,
yeah,
we're about to
for-
jump in a lake of lava.
Oh, right, okay. Add those hit points.
Cori's been left.
So, like, is it almost bedtime? Or is it, like, morning now?
And as you look out of the windows of the Journey's End, you can see that the internal lights of Cert's Hellier are changing in their tone and color to signify that it is now nighttime on the outside.
Thank the gods. Alright, as much as I want to party, and I kind of
Don't.
do. Okay, but we should go to sleep unless there's anything else we have to do tonight. Wait, what do we have to do? You guys didn't
Rest.
explain to us and to me.
Oh.
Oh,
And I'll explain what happened during the Crimson Duel.
I'm
Oh.
gonna excuse myself to go train with Cori.
Oh. I'm sorry, dude. What did he do? That was like, if you held him, what the fuck? I mean, like, not like what the fuck, but like, what the fuck is he? Because, like, you're one of the strongest people I know. At least top 4.
I guess I'm just not as strong as I thought I was. And he's also got Mephistopheles backing him.
Who?
Mephistopheles.
Is that like a demon?
Devil. Archdevil.
Is there a difference?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, hey, now you know what you're up against. I mean, you haven't seen him in like years and stuff. So, like, next time, you'll be deadly serious next time.
Next time it might not be him.
No?
Gwen. All of them are after me now. All of them are gonna be after me.
So what? We'll take them all on.
It's not... I know I haven't given you a good opinion of the profane soul. Or the witch knights. Sorry. Copyright neutral. Copyright neutral blood hunters. And yeah, that cell that I grew in, they can all suck a fuck.
Suck a fuck.
But like, you've met Drin, right? The Kenku that I hired over on the Isle of Rest.
Yeah.
Now he would be obligated to try to kill me.
Do they have to kill you now that this thing happened? Or is it like they can choose to?
Indoor?
So you would know that it is entirely up to the hunter. What most hunters that don't have a personal tie to you will probably end up doing, or at least try to do, is mechanically knock you to 0 and then let you make your own death saves. They won't coup de grace you while you're down. If it was somebody like, say, Kodeth, maybe a little different.
Dren, he'd be obligated to try. Any of the Sentinel base, any of the Hallowed God.
Well, we don't have to kill him. Just show him that you're protected. Or we could prove to them that you are worthy of blood huntership by doing some cool shit. Just a thought.
What did you have in mind?
Well, I mean, we're gonna fucking save the world, aren't we? That's still on the list. Right. He said something about a half-breed?
Ilni.
What was he?
Ilni?
Yeah. Oh,
You-
right. She was the
you've-
chick we
you-
met, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
you've met Ilni.
Look, I've been a stone for the last apparently 5 days. And yes, it was seconds for me, but I'm just going to use that as an excuse until I get drunk, and then I can use that as an excuse.
That's fine. We really weren't with Ilni for a while.
Yeah, she was hot, though. Good job. I mean, sorry. So, what's next?
We get Cori's season. And
Right, that's in the fire, right?
yeah.
Do we have a plan for that?
And as you ask that question, that is where we are going to transfer over to Cori and Caelum outside training with a new sword.
So do we have a plan for the fire thing or what?
Honestly, you know, aside from you jumping in, we don't know what's in there.
That's true. And only one of us can go in there. And I'm going to insist it be me. I don't want anybody else to be put in danger.
He looks at her incredulously as he butts the sword away with his shaft. Do you not know what we've been doing this? I hate you so much, LBHackEmUp. You get your mind out of the fucking gutter.
Gross.
Use her full name.
How
How dare you, LBHackEmUp?
What was I saying? He looks at her incredulously like, have you not noticed what we've been doing this entire time? Like, with the whole fighting away beholders and dire trolls and, like, asshole blood hunters? We're in constant danger, Cori.
Yes, but this time I get to choose who gets to be in danger. And if I have a choice, it's going to be me.
There's... He plants the pommel of the staff into the ground and leans on it. What if this time you don't get revived? What am I going to tell your parents?
You may never meet my parents.
I mean, I've been in contact with your dad at some point. Through Ampleforth.
Let's face it, you all aren't going to get very far without me. So I can't die.
In the Feywild or here?
At all.
True. You're the only person who's able to resurrect us. And that's why I would not elect you for going into the fire. But you have to, because this is your task.
5 minutes. And a chain around my waist. That's all we need.
In molten lava.
I'm
magma.
immune to fire.
That doesn't make the chain immune to the fire.
Well, it's going to be better than silk, I'll tell you that.
I hate everything about this plan, you know that?
Fair enough.
And he kicks the pommel of the spear up and then just resumes attacking her.
Mm-hmm. They continue fighting. Training.
Sounds good.
So I jump in the fire, put a chain around my waist, and
In molten lava?
Well, I mean, like, we find something that can keep up with the heat, and like I'll just like maybe I could get like a really heavy rock, and then I'll sink to the bottom.
But it's molten lava. That's just superheated rock.
I know. I don't understand how we're supposed to be able to do this. This seems like it's a really difficult puzzle that her god is putting us on.
Yeah, I never really understood the Raven Queen.
What if we just shovel all the lava out?
I don't take out the lava and push it somewhere else.
Yeah.
I mean, we only have 10 minutes, and that's essentially like digging up a hole of mud, I assume.
Well, it's pointed in there, right?
Yeah.
So it's not like through a tunnel system. What if it's like a secret room and you have to go through the lava and there's just like a chamber underneath?
We would never know unless we take a leap of faith.
Or a plunge.
Cannonball. We have cannonballs in this in this world, right?
You've heard of them. Most ships don't actually have, like, smoke powder blasting. They just use magic. But you are familiar with the cannonball swimming maneuver.
All right, that works for me.
All
Fourth wall is good.
And stitched back together.
All right, let's talk with the others.
Okay. So your group reconvenes. What is the plan?
All I'm saying is there might be a secret chamber under there.
Oh, hey. Yeah, no,
Hey.
that's what I was saying. You'd like, it's just like a blanket. And then underneath is like a chamber. Because there's not like tunnels, right? It's pointing straight down.
Could just be lava and signposts. Sorry. Minecraft.
Stop hurting him.
Sorry.
Okay. So, we find something that can withstand the heat of the lava, tie it around my waist, I get a big rock, and I hold it, and then I sink to the bottom.
Excellent. That plan, except with me.
Why you?
Because it's my problem.
Yeah, but you're not I mean, you're strong. You're fine. But, like...
Excuse you.
I've come to the realization that this is also Cori's season, and I don't know how it interacts with anything else, but it might be lost if anyone else touches it, so...
That, or can you imagine me with an angry summer season?
Aren't you
Oh my
always
gosh,
angry?
can I have it, please?
What? No.
Oh,
It's my season.
all right.
Could you
fine.
imagine Arjhan as spring, though?
We hate to see it. So, Cori, this is your season. Obviously, you should be the one to retrieve it. Let's talk about your exit strategy. Caelum,
Teleport?
Yes.
you have teleport. How deep is it? Is it like 60 feet?
Who knows? I can teleport
For-
up to 30 feet.
30 feet. How deep is it from the
Do you have to
surface?
see it?
I do have to see where I'm teleporting.
Oh, this might suck. So... You can't tell how far away your summer form is, right?
I have no idea. I know the direction. That's it.
Cool. Because... if anything, I could go in and grab it and then teleport up.
Listen,
My teleport is good for 500 feet.
Do you have to see where you're going?
Nope. Just need to be able to think where it is.
Can you teleport someone else?
With someone else, yes.
I also have access to spells that can make me resistant to fire. So I have a backup plan.
No.
I feel like all of this is terrible. Does anyone else feel like all this is terrible?
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
Hey GM, if Cori were to take half the potion and I were to take half the potion, would it split it to 5 minutes?
You're not sure exactly what would happen.
Would I only take half the damage of lava?
I don't know, how much damage did Cori take when she plopped on top of it?
72.
Yeah, okay.
I did not get dropped though, which is a big thing.
I mean, I feel like that doesn't
I did
matter.
get dropped actually. Hold on, I've got 69 hit points. Listen. Listen. It's not entirely... We don't know for certain whether or not we're actually going to reach whatever is down there. It could very well be a big beastie.
I wonder if Cercelier has some sort of sewer system, like we can get a little bit more deeper in to the city, closer
What about
to...
a dam? Like, if we, like, it's lava, right? It's gotta come from somewhere. We put a dam on where it's coming from. And then it's just a hole. Right? This is how things work.
Very
Wow.
hot hole.
And if we stop the lava flow, the rest of the lava may have a chance to cool and solidify. So instead of being able to dive under, we would have to dig through stone.
A self-healing dam hole?
Like, I'm not gonna, pretend to understand I know what I'm talking about.
It's going to be a lot easier for us to go through the lava than it is for us to dig through.
Occam's razor. I drink the potion, I go down there, I look around for a bit, 9 minutes rolls up, it's 10 minutes of invulnerability, right?
Yes.
9 minutes rolls up, time is up, pull me out. That's all I'm asking.
Would you be able to pull her out?
Me? Of course. Wait, why Caelum?
Because I would really like it if you didn't have to go near the lava to pull her out.
I don't have the magics to like tether onto her to pull her out, but I could try.
Why can't I pull her out?
Indoor.
Yes.
Actually, we're coming on time, so we'll talk about it.
Yes. So, is there a set plan, or do we want a week to think about it?
We're going to need a week and a lot more detail about this geometry.
Okay, sounds good. As far as you know, it is just a magma hole.
I'm just saying, it doesn't matter how much planning we do, it's gonna turn to shit anyways.
It'll be fine. So, with that, I would like to say that's where we'll call it for the evening. So, with that in mind, I would like to say thank you to all these players for putting up with my bullshit this week, and thank you to everybody who decided to stop by and join us for this incredible session of The Legend of the Four Keeps. Hey, RJ, where can we find you? What do you do?
Hey everybody, I'm RJ here on the channel, but you can catch me at RJustice282 on Twitter and Twitch, where I tweet about the nerdy things of my life and play over work. You can catch me here today, always as Caelum, Shadowkai Wizard Cleric. Tomorrow, we're playing Waterdeep Dragon Heist, War of the Spark, where I am reprising my role as Hubris, a tiefling sorcerer warlock who has just found his sister. You can also catch me, not this Sunday, but next Sunday over at G, Game Nights with a K, where I play Samick, a very angry, ragey boy, dragon-aspected barbarian orc who doesn't know where he comes from. DanaQ.com.
Hi, I'm LBHackEmUp. You can find me at LBHackEmUp on the Twitters. You can also find me here Mondays and Tuesdays. Tomorrow I'll be playing Ghost, my beautiful, beautiful Ghost. Who's going to have a girls' weekend with her BFF Daka. And then every other Friday you can find me on David Bear's channel doing Ghost of Saltmarsh. We've gone off the Ghost of Saltmarsh railing at this point. And I now have to take care of an egg that might be a baby dragon turtle. On Sunday we're playing we're playing Monster of the Week, where I get to play Abby, the expert. Every other Sunday I play in the Pathfinder game on G Game Night's channel, where I play a human sorcerer who has a +9 in deception, so super fun. And then starting at the end of February, I'm going to be on with Jordan with a PH and Nerd Immersion on Nerd Immersion's channel, playing a 5th edition game where I get to play Siren, the daughter of Hubris and adopted daughter of Ghost. DanaQ.com.
Boy, I'm cyber. I'm sad. I shitpost on Cyberwolf 1201. And I play games badly, talk about lore on twitch.tv/Cyberwolf1201. We are playing through Castlevania Lords of Shadows because, I get to talk about Netflix and the original series, and also what's going on in these actual games with the voice of Robert Carlyle playing in my ears. It's amazing. And we're done killing werewolves, so I'm going to feel a lot better about the rest of the game. All the archives of that and many more games are on youtube.com/CyberWolf1, where you can also find the podcast that Kyle with an N and I do called Let's Talk About It. We just put up our 2019 wrap-up episode. Maybe earlier this week. Maybe it was last week. I don't know. Time is irrelevant. Time is a flat circle. You can also find some D&D Beyond homebrew tutorials. Maybe there's going to be more coming up. Yeah, for RPG stuff, I'm on the DM's Guild. I do have a Patreon where I do Tal'Doric immersions. I am going to be on this channel on Mondays and on Thursdays, where I play in the Ghost of Saltmarsh game, where I just dropped off my 218 children. And now we're headed for a new place, not Saltmarsh. So yeah, join us for all the fun of Albus, the semi-hybrid sorcerer. And Pro Restarter starting second week of February. I'm gonna be playing in a 5th edition game on Saturdays in Tal'Dore, where, oh boy, you think Arjhan has trauma? Wait until you see this boy. DanaeKeener.com.
Why can't you guys just play happy characters?
I have a type, and it is fun.
I tried, and then I got involved with a heist.
Hi, everybody. My name is Danae Keener. You can find me at DanaeKeener.com. I do nerdy drawings, mostly related to D&D and a lot of things on this channel. I play here on Mondays and Tuesdays as various characters, and I'm very excited to see what's going to happen tomorrow. Until next week, Eladrin can sometimes be fireproof. You just gotta, use potions and spells and things. DanaeKeener.com.
And if you have made it this far, you probably already know who I am. But if you don't, hey fella, what's up? It's me, your buddy, your pal, your friend, the Indoor Adventurer, the showrunner here at twitch.tv/Indoor Adventures. We do shows like this, as you probably heard, Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays at 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We put all of the VODs up on our YouTube page, which is youtube.com/Indoor Adventures. Other things to remember, hey, we have a giveaway. We have also a Patreon where you can go and help support the show for as little as $1 a month. Right now, we are self-sustaining when it comes to paying for things like Zoom and Adobe, but if you want to see increases in quality of the show, Patreon is a very easy way to do that, because that can get us access to things like World Anvil, as well as a bunch of other stuff. Who knows? We'll figure it out. But with that being said, I would like to say again, thank you to these players. Thank you to everybody who decided to stop by, and we'll see you guys next time. All right, everybody. Goodbye.